Mark 5, beginning at verse 1. Jesus and his disciples arrived on the other side of Lake Galilee in the territory of Gerasa. As soon as Jesus got out of the boat, he was met by a man who came out of the burial caves there. This man had an evil spirit in him and lived among the tombs. Nobody could keep him chained up anymore. Many times his feet and his hands had been chained, but every time he broke the chains and smashed the irons on his feet. He was too strong for anyone to control him. Day and night he wandered among the tombs and through the hills, screaming and cutting himself with stones. He was some distance away when he saw Jesus, so he ran, fell on his knees before him and screamed in a loud voice, "Jesus, Son of the Most High God, what do you want with me? For God's sake, I beg you, do not punish me." He said this because Jesus was saying, "Evil spirit, come out of this man." So Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" And the man answered, "My name is Mob. There are so many of us." And he kept begging Jesus not to send the evil spirits out of the region. And there was a large herd of pigs nearby, feeding on a hillside. So the spirits begged Jesus, "Send us to the pigs and let us go into them." And he let them go, and the evil spirits went out of the man and entered the pigs. And the whole herd, about 2,000 pigs in all, rushed down the side of the cliff into the lake and was drowned. The men who had been taking care of the pigs ran away and spread the news in the towns among the farms. People went out to see what had happened. And when they came to Jesus, they saw the man who used to have the mob of demons in him. He was sitting there, clothed and in his right mind, and they were all afraid. And those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the man with the demons and about the pigs. So they asked Jesus to leave their territory. And as Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had had the demons begged him, "Let me go with you." But Jesus would not let him. Instead, he told him, "Go back home to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how kind he has been to you." So the man left and went all through the 10 towns, telling what Jesus had done for him. And all who heard it were amazed. This is not one of these passages where you can say, "Well, don't we all feel like that?" This is an extraordinary story, isn't it? Just hear about this as it stands, you know. Here is a man with demon possession in all its worstness, if you like. He's amongst the tombs, screaming, cutting himself. Jesus arrives. He throws himself at Jesus' feet. Then you're not sure whether he's talking or whether the demons are talking, because there's lots of them. We have this amazing conversation with the demons and Jesus, and he casts the demons out, and they're cast out into this great herd of pigs on this hillside, and the pigs then rush down the hillside and are drowned in the sea, and everybody's horrified. And then the man is there in his right mind and serves Jesus. You might say, well, that is... Actually, one of the commentators said, this is a very spooky story. But actually, it's not a spooky story, but it is pretty amazing. And you might think, well, what has this got to say for us? Let me give you an illustration. Imagine I was going to tell you about a story of a major traffic crash on somewhere like the M6 or somewhere in an industrial area. And this is a horrendous pileup of great lorries and container lorries and Pantechnicons and petrol tankers. There's much skidding and crashing and destruction and fire, and it's on a viaduct. So some of the vehicles crash off of the viaduct onto the houses below, and many are killed, and it's absolutely catastrophic. And you think, my gosh, I'm not there. I'm glad I'm not there. And yet you could say, in terms of driving and wheels on the road and the highway code and safety and making decisions when you drive, if you look at that, you might have to learn quite a bit for next time you're driving to St. Buryan or Hale or somewhere exciting like Plymouth. You'd think, well, I'm just driving, yes, still a road, still got wheels on it. Everybody's supposed to be driving by the same highway code. And just because that seems catastrophic and extreme, in fact, in many ways, because it is extreme, it's quite powerful what we might learn from it, I think. Because here we have this man, a good combination of things which we find in our world today, in society, in our own lives. There is a real sense of the reality and the tangibility of evil. Now, not everything is to do with evil. Last week we were talking about the storm on the lake. It was just caused by a lot of wind, by a gale. It was hydrodynamics. It wasn't evil. It was just something that happened. Jesus tells off his disciples sometimes for asking him whether everything is caused by sin. It's not, but a lot of it is. And this gives us a great picture that temptation and evil and sin and the tendency to sin are tangible and positive, and they don't just hang around waiting us to make mistakes. We all know we get tempted. We all sense that sort of positive presence. And, this man and these people live in a situation where evil is a reality, just as it is today. But for this man, it's also linked to a sense of freedom. In some ways, this man is the freest man on earth. He has absolutely no commitments, no relationships, no jobs to do, no nothing really. He ain't got anything to do all day except run around the tombs. I suspect originally when he got like this that his family would have tried to sort of put some boundaries down, or they would have helped him in some way, but no, he didn't want to know about this at all. And now this man is out there running around a completely free agent. And you could say, well, he is a free agent because evil has got into him, and in his life there's a lot of darkness in his life, but also the evil, if you like, to use a word that comes in the beginning of Genesis with Cain and Abel, evil lurks at the door. Not only is he has this sort of dark freedom where nobody touches him, he just does what he likes. But this dark freedom gives him the opportunity for all sorts of nasty things in and around the tombs and the cutting and screaming and all this sort of thing. There's this link between an evil possibility and this kind of spurious dark freedom. And then there's the sense in which, because he's like this, everybody's been trying to control him. And they've been putting chains on his legs and this and that sort of thing. But every time they've tried it, he's broken free. And here is the idea that if we have this dark freedom, and if we are involved with sin and temptation and all that stuff, then it easily gets out of hand and cannot be regulated or controlled or tied down. Those three things are a potent mix, a breakdown of control and discipline, a sense of a sort of spurious freedom, and a darkness. Now, I feel this is very true in our society today. For instance, wherever you get this great freedom, say a free market, we got a free market now. You just look at the banking market. It becomes a free market. But when it becomes free, sin is always lurking there, you see. So the sin, the temptation to dishonesty or to make more and more and more money or whatever it is. And then, because of that, you have to have more and more regulators. You have to have all those regulators before. You have hundreds of regulators now, and they fail. Even in a very modest way, like the train companies that we have now. You give the impression they want to run trains. They don't. They want to make money. And so what you have now is you have a free market, and people are supposed to run trains, but they're tempted not to run trains. They're just tempted to make money. or run trains badly. So now we've got 57 varieties of regulators to make sure they run the trains properly. Freedom, sin, and regulation. And yet we know that with regulation it doesn't work. And society has more and more people watching everybody else doing things, making sure that in their freedom, because they're faced with temptation, it's still within bounds. But we find it doesn't work. I mean, the whole breakdown of the whole social welfare system. Are you thinking about some of the incredible problems with the breakdown of the family today? Everybody needs to be free, do their own thing, let it all hang out. And freedom with sin gets out of hand. And a number of people trying to fix things, a number trying to control things. We need safeguards, we need regulations, we need special groups of people looking after other groups of people who are looking after them, and everybody's looking after somebody else. And it doesn't work, it gets out of hand. So it's very contemporary, this idea. And you think to yourself, it's not good. Everybody seems to be able to do their own thing, but there's a real tendency with freedom for it to go badly wrong, to produce a dark freedom. It comes out of rights. We're not talking about real freedom, we're talking about rights. Thomas Paine, The Rights of Man. I have a right to be me, I have a right to do this and this and this. It's a freedom that is taken. And because sin crouches at the door, it rapidly becomes a dark freedom and gets out of hand and cannot be controlled. In our own lives, in a very modest way, forget the drama, there's still the same model. I'm still tempted to freedom because it's part of ego, it's part of getting away from God. I want to be free, I want to do it, Was it monkeys used to say, I want to be free. Remember all that stuff, 60s? And I want to be on the beach and hate whatever. But it's not like that, because we're tempted to other stuff. You remember the prodigal son at the beginning of the prodigal son? He's tempted to freedom. I want my money, I want to go, I'm my own man, I want to be on the farm sort of thing. And so the freedom is a spurious freedom. He gets a darkness there. And then as soon as he gets to the far country, there's plenty of other darkness waiting for him, and it all goes badly wrong, doesn't it? And there's no regulation. It just gets out of hand. In our own lives, I often feel I'm tempted to take control. I don't want any more. I don't like this and that. I want to do my own thing. And that freedom is a dark freedom, a taken freedom. And it gets into all sorts of mess. And then you say, well, I'm not like this, so I need some rules. We're in Lent at the moment. Make some New Year's resolutions, or we take some Lenten resolutions, because subconsciously we want to control ourselves. We say, I don't want to be like that. I want to be like that. This is a bad habit. This is a bad thing. I shouldn't be doing this. So I'll draw some lines here. And then they don't work very well, do they? And so on and so forth. I was thinking, I don't know what situations you're in exactly, but you're going to have one of these joyous family gatherings when everybody's going to come and visit you. And then you think, I haven't got any personal space, nobody cares about me, I'm going to be me. So you're grumpy, so I'm not having any more of this. I want to be free, so you go up in your bedroom and slam the door. Great. And then you say, well, next time they come, I'm going to be better, so I'm going to draw a line there. That's not good, that's not good. Next time you come, just as bad. Why am I always like this? The results for this man, for instance, of this dark freedom are bad, aren't they? To start off with, there's a sense of alienation. Just like when you go up in your bedroom, slam the door, now I'm free and now I'm on my own. That sense of alienation, isn't there? He is out there, freest man on earth, doesn't see anybody, no family, no friends, no synagogue, no job, no anybody, no nobody. There's that sense of alienation. We get that in our society. We want to be free. Everybody wants to be free. You have atomized families. You have individual people living in isolation and in loneliness in urban settings. Young adults on their own. All sorts of people who are simply alone because they wanted to be free. And now they are alone. And it's just not good. And it's not just that people can fight one another, but that nations fight one another. There's a sense of alienation. We become alone. He was alone. We become alone. You want to be free? Be alone. There's a sense of self-harm. Now, literally, some of you have experience of this. That so many people these days, not just all young people, will self-harm or will cut themselves, like this man was. But in a broader sense, so much is done when you think, gosh, I wouldn't have done that. You can see that's leading him into trouble. Some of the little dramas that we see set before us in The Cornishman, you think, what on earth did he do that for? They're never going to get away with that, are they? And yet they still do it. And they know they're not going to get away with it. And they know it's silly and it's no good. But you still do it. You know? And so many of the things that we do with our dark freedom are actually things that will be no good for us or for anybody else. They're all negative. But you still do it. You get into it. Which brings me to this final thing with this man. In the middle of the story, this extraordinary conversation, is it the man talking or all the demons talking? Well, actually, the demons take over. You see, he might be the freest man on earth, but actually, he's not his own man. He is possessed. Now, that's rare. I've had to deal with it sometimes, but the occult is a very powerful thing. But in normal terms, if you grab freedom, you finish up tied down by the things you got when you became free. You aren't your own person. So it may be a bad habit, but that bad habit really has a hold on you. You become dysfunctional, and you are dysfunctional. You know, you have compulsive behaviors. You have them, and I think I'm not my own man. It's definitely St. Paul, wretched man that I am. The things that I would do, I don't do, and the things I wish I didn't do, I do. And so even in the very smallest things, why do I always feel like that about so-and-so? Why am I always jealous about that? Why am I always afraid about that? Why am I always neurotic about that? Why do I always hate that? Why do I always lose my temper at this point? It's not me, but I do it. You see, not free at all, just like him. He's alienated. He's doing stuff which does harm to himself, his whole life, and he's not really his own man. I think it's very contemporary, in a very moderate sense. You see where you are. And then there's a change. We'll just leave a moment how that change happens, but basically Jesus replaces the darkness with light. Demons go into the pigs and all that stuff. But just keep on looking at the man a moment. When the darkness is replaced by the light, something different happens. He then is free, but in a much different way. It's freedom that is given to him, not freedom that is taken. He doesn't smash chains. Presumably any bits of chain are hanging on him, they took him off. And then he's free. He's free to wander around, go home, sit with Jesus, put his clothes on, all that sort of thing. It's a light freedom. It's a new freedom. There is a lie going around, and it's been here all the time as far as I can remember, is that somehow to be a Christian makes you more tied down. The whole libertarian thing is, hey, I don't want to be tied down with all these rules, what's Christian rules, any rules actually, I just want to be free. That is an illusion. Jesus says, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Jesus brings us a positive freedom that he gives you rather than you take, a freedom that is light rather than dark, a freedom which is excellent rather than spurious. This man is free in a new way. And rather than always having a bashing with regulation and rules and, oh gosh, I mustn't go there, but I am sort of thing, Jesus has an authority in his life. Not to tie him down, but to keep him free. As a man says, oh, I just want to go with you, Lord. And Jesus says, no, you're not coming with me. I want you to go home and tell people about me. Oh, and he does. It's not just anything. It's not just let it all hang out, but a freedom has to be protected. And so, but rather than chains, oh, he mustn't do this, and mustn't do this, and mustn't. It's Jesus' guidance and the Lord's commandments which actually give us the freedom and sustain the freedom, which is so good. And the results for the man are the opposite to what the other are. They would be for us as well. Rather than alienation, he comes to his friends, to the public, and then to his family. He's brought back together again. The freedom that Jesus gives us brings us together, rather than the dark freedom which separates us apart. Rather than me. Jesus says, I give you yourself, and so you can be with others. And that is good. He goes back to his family. And I think it's interesting to note the way that as he goes back He's beginning to do things, and you think, oh, that's good. Things are picking up now, rather than things are falling apart. I'm coming back to, I'm not having all these relations and all that stuff. Bang, I'm in my bedroom, I'm free. Rather, Jesus says, no, you have a peace with me, so you can give hospitality to all these wretched relations who are turning up. And you'll be all right. And you can bless them. And their dog. And everything else that turns up. You can be free. You can be your own man, your own woman, and a blessing to them. You don't have to be stuck up there. There's a great pop song long ago which had a line, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You don't want that sort of freedom. You want a full freedom, a light freedom that Jesus gives that can bring other people in. And I love that phrase at the end where he said he was sat there in his right mind. His right mind. Here is a man who's got himself back. Rather than demons talking for him, he has his right mind. When I am free in Jesus, I am myself. The temptation is, I don't want to get rid of Jesus so I can be me. No. To be me, I am me in Christ. So that's all good. You might say, well, come on, Alastair, I'm not sure about the middle bit. All the pigs and all that business. That seems that anyway, I'm going to learn from that. Just think of it like this. This man is so far gone that the accident has been so bad that when they reach him in the car crash, he is unconscious. And all they can do is bind him up, put him on a stretcher, and the helicopter comes down and takes him to Derriford. But we are not in that state. We learn from it, but we're still walking wounded. We can respond. And so, as the Bible tells us elsewhere, we need to come to Jesus and say, I've had enough of this freedom. I've had enough of me. I've had enough of this darkness. I've had enough of loneliness and alienation and things going badly wrong. I've had enough of not being my own man or woman. Lord, forgive me for this. Take the darkness and put light. This might not be your whole life, but it could just be an aspect of your life. This bit's dark and it's producing negativity. I need some light there. If you're walking woody, you can speak for yourself. And come this morning at communion, you can say, Lord, I just leave this with you. I'll kneel down at the rail and say, I'm really sorry for this. I need you to put fresh light. I need a fresh freedom rather than this dark freedom. I need to come to be restored and put together again rather than falling apart. That's what the gospel is. But even from this story, it will tell us that if you do that, there will be a hassle. The demons and Jesus, there's a hassle. It's not an equal hassle. Jesus just deals with them. But there's still a hassle. You get tempted. You think, I don't want to do this. I'm not sure about that. Immediately things will bubble up. Temptation hangs on to you. Compulsive behavior is compulsive. There is hassle with this, just as it was there. But Jesus deals with it. The great thing about the pigs is that the demons go into the pigs and the pigs go into the sea, and that's the end of it. When God takes darkness out of our lives, he deals with it. He doesn't sort of just put it over there and we might have it back. You could be tempted again, but it will be new darkness, not the old. The Bible says that God will remember your sins no more. That means they don't exist, because in the Bible, for something to exist, it is a thought in the mind of God. They will be buried in the bottom of the sea, just like the pigs. It's a great thing to think it's not just there waiting to come back, but it is dealt with. Forgiveness is forgiveness. Healing is healing. But what amazed those people at the time was that Jesus was just over the whole situation. There's no hope. If there is a hopeless situation, this man is it. All right? Nobody here is this bad. So you're within the envelope. And God can deal with it. What a great gospel message that is. And rather than becoming part of the problem, what are we going to do over him over there? We can't tie him down. We can't go there. He's scary. He now has a purpose, and he goes and does some missionary work and tells them how kind the Lord has been. What a contrast. What a contrast that could be in our lives, in one or another little aspect of your life this morning. The band are going to come and just lead us as we just come to communion. Lord, I come to you. We're going to sing. We can do that. We are walking wounded. I come to you to be changed. Let's stand and sing this prayerfully together, shall we?